You see, this is what I love, not just about the season, but about the preseason too. With games actually being on in the National Hockey League, even if the games don't count, now we actually have a reason to talk about whichever players stand out, and we have reason to potentially overreact to how well they have performed. And look at me. I'm the guy who made a YouTube video just a few days ago talking about this player and some of the fans' concerns that we had seen out of him. But today, we are flipping the script. Because today I wanted to talk about Detroit Red Wings' 9th overall pick in the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. You know him, you love him. It is none other than Nate Danielson, who is currently listed for the Grand Rapids Griffins. But honestly, this video isn't really going to be about him on the Griffins or on the Red Wings or whatever. It's just going to be talking about stuff from yesterday's game that we might have missed. Now, yesterday's post-game video between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks, it was a dual video. We also talked about the Montreal game, so we didn't expand too much on everything that game had to offer, but I wanted to talk about a very specific talking point that, oddly enough, has been brought up in more ways than one over the course of the past few years. We're talking about Nate Danielson, and we're talking about the best player on the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard. Yeah, sounds crazy, doesn't it? Here's a comment made by Cultured Robot on the Red Wings vs. Blackhawks post-game thread on the Detroit Red Wings subreddit. Connor Bedard still hates playing against Nate Danielson. And what exactly does that mean? What's the link between Connor Bedard playing off against Nate Danielson? Well, when you think about what happened in yesterday's game in particular, there's a reply that says, hey, when the two were on the ice together, Bedard and Danielson, shot attempts were 7-0 in Nate's favor. Another reply says that Bedard looked invisible. And this is one of these things where you start to understand the dynamics of yesterday's game and why the numbers looked the way that they did. We spoke yesterday about how Blackhawks goaltender Arvid Soderblom had to do his best impression of a brick wall, because that guy was just getting shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot against. The Red Wings were pouring it on, and for some reason the game was close. They just couldn't finish. Arvid Soderblom was making some saves, but inevitably, Detroit came out with the victory. And Sebastian Cossa on the other side, he got the win, but he had significantly fewer saves in the game compared to Soderblom. That's neither here nor there, though. It was a close game, but Cossa got beat a few times. In yesterday's contest, Connor Bedard ended up scoring a beautiful one-time slap shot on the power play. That's one of the plays where it's like, yeah, you're not going to stop that. No matter who you are, you're in net, you're a goaltender, whatever, it's near impossible to stop a Connor Bedard rip like that. And so he can get away with getting a goal there, but at some of the other levels of play versus Nate Danielson, I mean, you could kind of see it. Connor Bedard was ineffective. And the reason Cultured Robot says that Bedard still hates playing against Nate Danielson is because of this conversation that we read about 2 years ago. Take a look at this. It was written and published by Dave Hogg on NHL.com shortly after Nate Danielson was drafted 9th overall by the Detroit Red Wings. Danielson, Red Wings prospect, was the toughest opponent in the WHL. Connor Bedard says, the number 9 draft pick in 2023 has size, and he's got poise to make it as an NHL center. Take a look at what this article says from 2 years ago. The Red Wings liked the center prospect's 6'2", 185-pound frame, his intelligence, his poise, and his scouting report, filed by none other than center Connor Bedard, whom the Blackhawks chose with the first overall pick, who said that Danielson was the toughest center he faced in the Western Hockey League. It kind of stands out when you hear Connor Bedard talking about how tough he is to play against, Red Wings assistant GM Chris Draper said. That brought a smile to our faces. Now, this article does the cardinal sin of not actually linking the Connor Bedard comments wherein he made it, but still, There happens to be a lot of history between these two from their time with the Regina Pats and the Brandon Wheat Kings in the WHL. This conversation goes back so far. Even in 2023, this was in the preseason back then. Danielson stripping Bedard of the puck and creating a scoring chance. One of the comments goes out there and says this: "I was worried after I heard that Bedard and Danielson were friends, and I was wondering if maybe it was one homie gassing up another. I'm very glad to be proven wrong. Danielson looked great going after Bedard last night, and he doesn't seem the least bit afraid of him or his hype. I'm here for it." Might I remind you, when Nate Danielson was drafted 9th overall, Connor Bedard said this: "He's awesome. He's someone that I'm really close with, and to be able to be here with him and a lot of friends, hearing the news he just got taken, it's so incredible." And so, that's nice to hear. I mean, thinking about the link, the rivalry, these guys playing against each other in the WHL, and now they're both NHL prospects. I think when Danielson was drafted, Connor Bedard commented on his Instagram. I can't find the image right now, but there's a good link between these two guys. And with Danielson shutting down Bedard in the dub and in the preseason game yesterday, one might start to think that this guy actually does have what it takes to make a quicker impact than we might have thought a few days ago when watching the red versus white game and watching the prospects games. Now, the funny part is, this isn't the only time, actually, that Bedard and Danielson have even been linked, because when searching for all the material about this stuff on the internet, guess what I found? It's a video we uploaded a year ago, talking about what Patrick Kane had to say about Nate Danielson comparing to Connor Bedard. This is from an excerpt last year, and the article on mlive.com is actually still up, so this will also be linked in the description here below. September 26, 2024. This is all from last year. Kane said about Nate Danielson that he's really impressive. I skated with him a little bit when I first came into Detroit. He's got a lot of skill. And he reminds me a little bit of Connor Bedard. The way he plays and the way he stick handles and shoots. I know he's a high-end prospect as well, but he looks like he's got a bright future." Danielson then replied, saying, "Yeah, I don't know about that. Connor is a pretty special player. It's cool to hear a compliment from Patty Kane. He's obviously someone I look up to. Just having him here, he's someone I try to prick his brain, see what he thinks, what he likes to do. He's kind of like Sidney Crosby to me. He's someone I grew up watching and idolizing. I think I've watched his shootouts thousands of times. It definitely gives you a bit of confidence boost hearing him say something like that about you." So, from shutting Bedard down to actually being compared to Connor Bedard, there's a lot to like out of Nate Danielson. And I think Red Wings fans will be starting to see that more and more as the preseason comes and goes. Just the two-way ability, the shot, the shooting, the stick placement on the tip-in goals. I mean, Nate Danielson's very versatile. He can do a lot of things out there. And I'm not saying he's guaranteed to stealing a spot or two from another NHL center, but we'll see, right? With that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Nate Danielson. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't, please hit the dislike button. And all comments help out with the algorithm as well. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.